So are we live? Hmm. Let's check that out then. Okay, excellent connection. Yep, we're live. So right now I was working on this. I think we do need a display capture, right? Do we? Ah, let's go on to that display capture then. Window capture, not window capture, display capture. Where is it? Yep, it's there. Okay, capture the cursor even. Okay. Right now we are just using it from the dummy devices, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna remove the dummy devices. I'm gonna use the context. So use context. And this is going to be the website state context. Now it's going to give me an error because you have not used from React. Okay, dummy device is not defined. Now the structure, let's find out the structure, how it's working. So in context, we have controllers, and in that controllers, we are gonna iterate it. So it's just simple context, and then we are gonna give it to controllers. Now controller ID is assigned a value but never used, is defined but never used. Now let's check that out, that if it's able to render it. Okay, it's able to render. We have to just add a name also, name as well. Arduino 2560, maybe something like that. Okay, do we have it? Okay. Let's do one thing is that we should let's add one more controller into this. Uh, so just Arduino Nano, you can say Nano, and their ID, it's gonna have a different ID. And in devices list, are we giving it the like key or something? We're definitely giving it the key, so we're just getting it from the props. Okay. Actually, we don't need it from the props, but it's fine, whatever. Actually, we can just render it and we can just get the data from there. So it's uh, I don't think we should use it anyways. Right now it's not gonna render because we were using props, but instead of props, what we're gonna use is just the context itself. So instead of using this, what we can do is just the context and controllers, and we have just mapped it, but we're back to that. Well, what we are going to do is once we click on it, so it's just going to go to that ID respective ID, right? And like for example, if I'm just clicking on it, right now it's not going to happen, and it's going to give me an error, obviously, because that function is not actually it's not been implemented yet. So on click, it's saying set HMA device is not a function, right? Now what we're going to do is, for example, like we had our context, right? So this is the controller ID and set controller ID. So we are going to use the state for sure. But what we are going to also use is, there's a function we are going to use. So these are the controllers, right? And what we are going to use is, there will be a function choose controller, right? And that's going to be the controller. So for example, I'm inside that controller, and function. It's going to be a function. So yeah, it's going to be the function itself. Now function choose controller handler, right? What it's going to contain is that HMA device ID, right? And how we'll change that. It's like this, right? We have the controllers. Instead of using like this, the controllers that we are using, we will keep an initial state like this. In this, we have just put that. And once we keep that state, we can actually just give it a controller ID. Actually, it's not going to be controller ID. It's going to be controllers. HMA controllers, and then set uh, HMA handler function, right? HMA controller handler. So this is going to be HMA controllers. Yep, that's it. Now we're facing some errors. And what is it? Oh, yeah, forgot. This controller handler. Now, in this controller handler, once we get to that HMI device, right? So, uh, let me think of it like that. Hmm. So it's a list of maps. In that map, we just need to find that specific object because it's going to return that specific object. Right now, it's pretty simple to put it that way, but you know, now we are in a diff because problem right here is we have those lists, right? And that list which is picking up that specific element. So what we have to do is, are we going to use props for that, or should we use props? I don't think we should use props, but we can use props. I'm confused on that part only. So website state. Just thinking on it, like, because we're then gonna access the rooms. How are we gonna identify these objects? We can identify these objects by its ID, but then we're gonna iterate all of it. That's still gonna be point on iterating it. Like, thinking on it. And for example, if I've just clicked on a simple controller, so it's gonna change the function, right? So think of it like that. Controller ID. State, and this it's gonna be some random ID, for example. ID handler, right? So now we need a current ID, and that we are just gonna get from controller ID, right? And state. So these are the things, and those are the controllers for it. So that is, oh yeah, choose controller handler. We're just using it. So what we are gonna do is HMA controller handler, ID handler, and what it's gonna do is HMA device ID. So once we have set that, yeah, got it. Now once we click on that, so we go to the apartment page. Also, we're using the context, but this is not going to be it, right? Now it's going to be controllers are there, so it's just going to give me a okay. It's not giving me that because there is an issue. The issue is we have to use a like that what it is current controller ID right now. So we are just going to give it like something random. It's just for code completion. And we have just got the current controller ID. So for example, if I click on it, it's not even yet showing. It shows the device is not functional. Oh yeah, function we have to change it. So we just go into the device list, and the function that we are using is set controller ID. Where is it? And device ID. We are just using that. So I guess now we might be able to do it. Let's check that up. It's still not working. Set HMI device is not a function, but didn't I change it? got it. Cannot read properties of undefined map. Undefined. Hmm. Peculiar. Hmm. Why is it undefined? We're able to control that. And controllers, what are we passing? We're passing the ID, the name, and device to ID. Definitely, we're definitely getting the ID right. So I'm not sure. Let's see, I have actually selected it, but then again, I'm having a problem with it. Quite a big of a problem. Reading map, undefined. Oh, got it. And the apartments page, we are actually mapping around the rooms, but it's not how it's gonna happen like that. Okay, it's not happening like that right now. Okay, so you're just gonna move that part, and yeah, fine. It didn't change though. That's a problem. If it changed for this, both same controllers. Now that's bad. And what's the reason for that? Okay, just put a push up, something like that. Then I'm able to identify. Okay, it's working. Just confuse it. I'm just taking some time to like get on with. Oh shit, get on with React. So my video's actually coming out. Now it's coming nice. Okay, and how much time we have just passed? 30 minutes. Nice, anyways. Uh, now so we just clicked on it. Now what we're gonna do is we need to get the room. Now we just need to render the rooms. So render the bunch of rooms that are available from the global context, right? Context that we're just setting in. How we're gonna fetch that room? It's like gonna be with the context itself. So what we have to do is right now is like set the current room, because then just gonna get it from the current room itself. But jiffy something kind of thing, because it's freaking annoying, but it's not fine. Right now, these are the current values that we are just using, and this is the global. This is the global values. Taking some time. Cons now current room ID might be something, right? We just got the room ID. We get the ID, what we are. 1 second. So room ID handler selects the room, right? And set room ID. Choose room ID function. Room handler, like choose room handler. Just referencing that. And there has to also be a current room ID. And that's gonna be your room ID. So I guess we have hooked it up correctly and okay. So the current room ID is controlled by that use state room ID. And then set current room controller ID. Set current room ID. And how we are gonna set the room. Now uh, actually this function is only gonna also set the room ID. This function will also set the room ID actually. And how are we gonna receive the room ID? Find from the that object which contains that ID. So how we are gonna find it? Let's just go to JS find an array of objects. Prototype dot find. How we are gonna do that? Like this, yeah, exactly. Name key. Okay. Hmm. Got it. These are for each one. This looks quite clean and simple. Yeah, better than find, right? It just finds the element and returns the element, and that we need to pass some value to it. So that it's going to be the HMA object, and what does it need? It needs the HMA device ID, which we are just fetching it, and then it just gets on with it. Okay, and then you have array dot find or a simple small array. Okay, no, okay, like that. Got it, got it. HMA controllers dot find. What are we gonna find that? Now we are gonna find that element. It's gonna be an element where element where that element's ID is actually equal to the HMA device ID, right? Perfect. Equals. I don't know why or how we use triple equals, but it's fine. Then set the room ID. How are we gonna set that room ID? For that, we are just using room ID handler, and what it's gonna do is from the HMA object, it's gonna find the uh, eh, okay. Hmm. It needs a room. It's gonna be empty right now. Just going on a GIF on these things. It's quite confusing. Thinking on it. Hmm. Actually, we don't need it, you know. We don't need this room. If you think carefully, we're just getting the room ID, we're just setting it up. But I don't think we need rooms because rooms we have to get from the global data that we have, right? Currently. We also don't need rooms handler. We just need one is current room ID. Right? That'd be something ASD or whatever. Let's just say room ID, room D or whatever. And it's gonna be let it be. Actually. HMD device ID, whatever. Now what we have to do is choose room handler. Room handler just chooses the like don't need the rooms handler. We are gonna need this one. So what this is gonna be? Right? We just got the function. We found the HMA object. Now from the HMA object, we are just gonna pass on the rooms, and we will just return it. Right? And this room, let's pass on some data. The rooms also is gonna be something like that. So in room, whatever, it's gonna have a name. That's gonna be bedroom, and then we are gonna have some boards, and that's also gonna be a list. That's one room, right? And then we are gonna use some another room. This is some like this is gonna be bedroom, so it's gonna be a study room, whatever data we can put in the key, and it definitely has boards, right? We have done one thing, and let's just put one more data to it, like for this room, so right, because that's a different controller. This is you can say this can be a gaming room, right? We just set up the gaming room ID, and HMA controller ID. So okay, I'm getting a GIF of an idea on it. So get rooms. Actually, we need it. Set current room ID. Choose room handler. What does it do? Select the current room ID. Okay, for it. Yeah, so got it. Even need that. We definitely need that because when we are not gonna be on the rooms, so we need the room ID. Whatever. Ah,